Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you here like always. In today's video, we're going to be continuing our series of aviaries from around the world. Now, if you're new to the channel, this is a series that I started a while back where I show you a variety of different aviaries from different parts of the world from different breeders. This way you get an idea of what others are working with, what species, how they keep them, whether they breed them in flights, cages, or aviaries. And along the way, you learn a couple of different tips and tricks that may help you at home if you're working with the same species. In today's video, we're going to be traveling all the way to Greece to meet a good friend of ours, Chris Ventouris. Now, we met Chris on Facebook a while back, and ever since, we've been following his progress. Chris loves to work with species that some would consider very difficult, and he often has a lot of success with them. So I had to take the time to talk to him and ask him to please share with us his aviary so we can see some of his birds and the way that he keeps them. So let's head over to this aviary, and I hope that you guys enjoy the video. After talking with Chris for a while, I realized that his beginning in birds was very similar to mine. He started with some Australian species back in 2008 and slowly started to move or get into the harder to breed African species. And this is something that happens a lot with a different variety of breeders. They usually start with species that are a little bit easier to kind of get a hang for what they're doing, learn a little bit more about what it takes to breed birds, and then slowly start to navigate into the African species, which usually are a lot harder than the Australians. Now, Chris has a variety of different flights inside of his aviary. The aviary itself, or the bird room itself, is 8 meters by 4 meters, and the flight cages are 80 by 80 by 120 centimeters. Now, in these flight cages, he keeps lavenders, greenback twin spots, Daibowski twin spots, gray-headed olivebacks, Tiaris oliveras, zebra finches, and Senegal firefinches. He also has a variety of other species of birds that include red-crested cardinals, grosbeaks, and others, but these birds at the time of this video were resting in outdoor flights. Now, when I asked Chris what was the hardest species that he ever bred or he ever worked with, he told me that the greenback twin spots and the crimson seed crackers were some of the hardest ones, and it was due to how sensitive they were. Now, I completely 100% agree with him. The greenback twin spots are a species that are very difficult to actually get them established and get them to breed. And the crimson seed crackers are ones that I've heard, although I've never kept them, I've heard a lot of breeders say that they're very sensitive because it is incredibly hard to replicate their diet in captivity. And most often than not, these wild-caught birds that are brought in usually survive about a year or so before they end up dying. Now, I'm sure there are breeders out there that have gotten them to live longer past that year. I don't know of any personally that have bred that species, but I'm sure it is a species that is very delicate and hard to breed. Now, after seeing his video, I can see why Chris has had such great accomplishments with some of these harder to breed species like the lavenders, greenback twin spots, gray-headed olivebacks, which are very difficult to breed, and so on. And it is because of these big flights that he has. Those 80 by 80 by 120 centimeter flight cages are perfect for these species. Most of these species are also species that like to breed in single pairs. They don't do well in a community setting, like for example the Daibowski twin spots or the gray-headed olivebacks. These are birds that can be extremely aggressive towards others inside of an aviary. So giving them a big flight cage like this to be able to procreate makes it that much better for them and helps them have those accomplishments. As time goes on and these imports get harder and harder to bring in of African species, whether it's here in the US or in different parts of the world, you're going to notice that it's going to come down to breeders like, for example, Chris, that are at the front line working with these harder to breed species. These are going to be the ones to be able to save these bloodlines and help continue the progress of some of these birds. Even here in the US, it's been getting little by little harder and harder to find some of these birds. I can't tell you when the last time it was that I saw, for example, gray-headed olivebacks come into U.S. aviculture. Now, the Daibowskis and greenbacks, we just had a recent import not too long ago. I believe it was last year, but imports have stopped. And the last 2 times that African imports have come in, there really hasn't been much. So it is something that with time will eventually begin to disappear, and it is up to breeders like, for example, Chris and many others to start working with some of these harder to breed species to make sure that you're able to keep them and not lose them. Again, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to make this beautiful video. We've enjoyed looking at your birds. We've enjoyed looking at your aviary and flights, and hopefully this has helped some that are working with similar species or plan on working with similar species to see how they themselves can replicate your success. All right, guys, well, this is going to be the end of the video. Like always, guys, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing. Also, Chris's link to his Facebook page will be in the description box down below. If you're interested in coming out in one of these videos showing your aviary and some of the birds that you keep, make sure to go to the comment section and let us know what type of birds you breed and where you're from, as we need you guys in order to continue this series. Like always, I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and we will see each other in the next video. Bye.